Welcome to Epilogue Podcast, the show where we discuss some stuff that happened on a different show ages ago which nobody really cares about anymore.
Hi, I'm Portponky.
And I'm LeBloc.
Today, we're discussing Deep Space Nine, Season 7, Episode 15, Badda-Bing, Badda-Bang. Team DS9 must heist Vic's casino to save his job.
His fake job in his fake life.
Yep. And his extremely fake game event, which just suddenly materializes out of nowhere. What did you think of this one?
I like this one a lot, even though it sounds horrible on paper. It's not serious. It has nothing to do with the main plot. But I couldn't help myself. I enjoyed this. How about you?
I like it. It's a collision between incredibly stupid and incredibly awesome. So I'm okay with that.
It reminds me of the baseball episode, another one that shouldn't work that I love.
I think if this kind of thing were too frequent, it would get a bit grating. Maybe once they hit all the genres, then it would kind of get annoying. But it's just a couple. That's kind of okay.
They're infrequent enough that it feels like a treat every time it happens.
Well, you say they're infrequent. It's the second one this season.
Plus, the Ferengi episodes were infrequent, but I detested those, so that's not really helpful.
With the holosuite, they can do whatever they want, though. So if they choose something bad and make a bad episode, that would be silly. Like with the Ferengi, they've got to work within that framework.
A Ferengi episode must have Ferengis in it,
Yeah.
which is already a handicap.
With the holosuite, they have a blank page, so I can understand why they are making decent ones. It does feel a bit like they're mucking around a lot, though. I mean, there's an actual war on, a really serious war with lots of people dying, and they're doing a really exciting heist in their spare time.
With all of the senior staff.
Yeah, everyone. Even Cisco.
And it takes up a lot of time, all this preparation. Well, maybe not. Still, it's pulling them away from their duties.
It seems like they don't have free time, particularly. We see them hanging in quarks now and then, but it does seem like their duty is, 16 hours a day or something. Which would make sense in a kind of military or navy setting. The shifts tend to be pretty much whilst you're awake, you're working. You're not there to do much else.
Maybe they were all laid off and no one told them. So they have really light workloads because there's no work.
Starfleet has run out of funding.
They actually lost the war already, and the news hasn't reached them. They're just wondering why they don't have assignments.
Cisco hasn't told them. He knows, but he's not told anyone.
Oh yeah, he's going to keep it up as long as he can.
I would believe that, considering how hard he flip-flopped here from...
Instantly.
Yeah, isn't this quite racist to, I will be the hero?
That's how you convince him to do anything or change his mind on anything. You will be a hero if you do this.
Or someone else will be the hero if you don't.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Dukat will somehow be the hero if you do not join us in this holosuite program.
Oh! As soon as he got on board, he was just the captain.
Yeah, he was in charge. Despite being the latest edition.
Yeah, it's casual time. It's not... They don't have ranks during that time, but he just seizes power. Cisco's discussion of racism in Las Vegas in that time period caused a lot of discussion online. There's a lot of mixed feelings about that speech. People aren't disagreeing that it was racist. It's just odd that someone from the distant future, where racism basically isn't a thing anymore, has such strong feelings and specific terminology that probably wouldn't exist in that time period.
But he's noted as someone who takes interest in those times in America's past.
That is pretty much the counter side of the discussion. He knew a lot about the Bell riots, and in Far Beyond the Stars, he actually lived as a sci-fi writer in pretty much a similar time period. And in his hallucination, if you want to call it that, he lived for several weeks or months, maybe. So he does have first-hand experience of it.
He's so steeped in that knowledge from what we've seen before, it didn't strike me as odd or out of place that he had that knowledge.
Yeah, I agree. I know a lot of people do discuss it, but I don't see the issue. He highlighted something that probably even viewers nowadays didn't think too much about.
It came to mind when we first see Cassidy interacting with someone and it's so casual and there's not any animosity or any sort of lingering uncomfortableness. So I thought of it there, but then I realized, well, it's a holosuite program. They're not going for fidelity. This is kind of to escape reality. But I do like that he brought it up. I enjoyed that speech. It's not something they had to address, but they did. And when he was resisting at first, I thought they would come up with some stupid reason where he and Curzon got drunk in a Vegas program and made fools of themselves, and so he's embarrassed and doesn't want to go into another Vegas program or something like that. And I liked that they tackled this, and it wasn't overbearing, and it's not the sort of thing you expect in a comedy episode, but it wasn't so serious where things veered completely off track.
Let's talk about the heist. How did you find all that heisting action?
I loved it. I really liked this episode. It's a lot of fun. I haven't seen the original Ocean's 11, and I don't remember, or I can't remember something I haven't seen, and I don't know. I don't know if they show how the heist would go if it went perfectly. I'm guessing they do, but I like seeing that, and then when the actual heist is underway, it immediately goes south and things start going wrong. You expect that, but I like how far bad things go and the guy shows up a day early. The worst thing that could happen.
It is largely a homage to the original Ocean's 11, but I'm sure they've mixed in a bunch of heist movies and heist tropes into there.
There were these tiny moments that I liked a lot. One of them, after Esri spills the martinis, and then she recovers because Bashir nicks two off another tray. She goes in with the one martini, and she's so concentrated on that one martini because she doesn't want to spill it again. And it's really funny to see that concentration on her face.
Bashir was quite good at this. He's been playing all those James Bond games, so he was quite a natural.
I didn't even make that connection, and that makes so much sense because he did improvise really well.
On the other hand, Cisco's improvisation featured him throwing money in the air and staring angrily at the door with burning intensity in his eyes. I mean, that is good improvisation too. It's just he seemed awkwardly out of place.
Which is what Cisco would do.
Just see the gears churning. Can I beat them all up with my fists if this money gambit doesn't work? He's not that violent. I don't know why I always attribute violence to him. It's probably because he likes to win at any cost.
Because the glint in his eye always hints at inner rage.
There's something deep down saying, I will win. Something you don't want to unleash.
Not intentional, but I had a good laugh. Every time Odo looked at his watch, I thought, you're continually looking at that thing. You can't make a nose, but you can shape shift the intricate gears of a watch. I guess it's easier to do non-organic stuff. But then I thought, well, maybe it's not even functional, and he's just looking at his wrist because he knows that's what people do when they have time constraints.
I think mechanical stuff is way simpler. He turned into that pneumatic press in the lift in the episode, which I think is called Crossfire, maybe. Why didn't he just make a chamber inside his body with a watch and a light and an eye?
Because that's not as fun.
True, and it's almost impossible to explain to the viewers.
Plus, wasn't there some vague mention about adhering to the time? But he shapeshifted into a tray, so they cheated anyway.
Well, once you open the shapeshifter can of worms, he could just break everything. He could just storm in as a mouse or an insect, turn into a giant, I don't know, Bigfoot or something, kill the two campmen, rip the safe off the wall, turn into a helicopter, helicopter gunship, blast a hole in the wall and fly away with the safe.
So he wanted to keep things interesting.
He shapeshifted, but only a bit, and only into something not particularly useful.
I thought it was kind of weird that he was mesmerized by the dancers when he first came into the casino.
The sort of burlesque style dancers.
Yeah.
He's a generally curious guy. I thought it was strange how rubbish his magic trick was.
Oh, I know. With all of his powers and what he could do, he goes with, I move my arm a little forward.
He could have done a lot further than that. At least make the glass out of normal reach or something.
I guess he wanted to keep it as close to a possible trick for a human, but I think he played it too safe.
Luckily, the mobsters weren't particularly hard to impress.
I thought for sure he'd make something disappear because it was something he created himself, so that it's really easy to just absorb it and have it disappear.
I remembered when he had the coffee that was his arm. I thought it was going to be something like that. But no, he's just slightly stretchy. Slightly stretchier than a person. There was a cameo in this episode that was a very cool cameo, which was the replacement accountant who Esri is surprised by.
Oh, yeah.
Did you recognize him?
No.
He's a regular on the show.
Morn?
No. Think of those staring eyes.
I don't know.
He's the actor who portrays Gowron.
Oh!
I'm not surprised that you couldn't see it. It's obvious when you think, hey, they both have those crazy eyes, but if you don't make that connection, he looks absolutely nothing like Gowron, really.
I did not pick up on that at all.
But I didn't. I read it off the wiki. He was credited as Bobby Riley rather than Robert O'Reilly. So even if you're scanning the credits, you may have missed him. He wanted to do a cameo on Star Trek without makeup before the show's run was over. He wasn't sure at this point if Gowron would appear again or not.
That's a fair request, and I'm glad they got him in there.
We got to see him running and vomiting. It's a little treat.
Oh, that reminds me when he at first denies he waves off the martini and then Esri trying to improvise, oh, can I drink it? So I thought, oh, is she gonna drink it and then vomit all over him? And then he'll have to exit to clean himself up.
Maybe that was her plan.
That's what ran through my head, and I thought that was really smart.
I'm glad it didn't go that way, but that's a fairly good plan. That's worthy of Dex. That's not the kind of plan that someone who hasn't had a lot of experience of solving situations would come up with.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say experience with self-induced vomiting.
Well, she has been a mother 4 times, so
It's her go-to solution.
vomit is integral to this plan, and if you're not going to drink the martini, I will.
No one's going to question a lady throwing up violently.
Would they question a guy throwing up violently? Like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you doing that?
Yeah, it could be a hobo.
Okay, because there's no female hobos.
Not in that outfit.
So, so if a guy was just vomiting, are you a hobo?
Yeah, instantly. First
hobo
question.
in disguise.
You see a man vomiting, must be a hobo.
Moving the discussion onwards, we got to hear Cisco sing.
That was a fantastic duet.
Cisco's a pretty good singer, although he does sing with the intensity that he acts with.
Yes.
I thought it was a strange way to end it, considering earlier on he had said black people only get to go into these clubs if they're janitors or performers. And now he's performing.
But he's choosing to perform. It's not the only way he could be in there.
I know. They really wanted Avery Brooks to sing because he is a very musical person. He's mad on the keyboard. And by keyboard, I mean piano, not the typing. He might be good at typing, I don't know.
I'm glad he really sang because he has that kind of voice where you'd pick up right away whether it was him singing.
Oh yeah, you couldn't dub that over and expect anyone to believe it. There was a long slow-mo shot of them walking to Vix in a big group.
I forgot that part.
They walk past Quark and Morn.
Oh, right. Okay. It's funny that he's in the dark. No one bothered to tell Quark what's going on in the holosuite that's in his establishment.
He sees Vic as competition, so he couldn't help because they couldn't trust him.
Oh, yeah. Once they told him, the program would have accidentally been wiped.
Or he just mess it up. I don't think it's a crime to kill a holographic character, is it?
Hey, it might be. I don't know.
Let's see Quark getting Vic killed. Especially if he convinces, or he does something that causes a hologram to kill another hologram. Was that even, what, is that a crime?
Wait, if he convinces who to kill who?
So if he messes up the heist, or gets them all caught, then Vic could be, done in by the mob.
Right.
And then Vic would be dead. Well, they could make a new Vic, I guess, but that Vic would be dead.
Yeah, that version of Vic.
And Vic is sentient, or very close to sentient. All I'm saying is there's definitely some kind of questions as to whether this is legal or should be legal. But I imagine it's completely unlegislated.
Until they want to make an episode about it. Somehow it never happened before.
Measure of a Man, but with Vic Fontaine instead of Data. O'Brien must suffer.
So much that we can't even hear it.
Can you hear it?
Or we can't even hear about it.
He told them about the prison thing, and having to kill his own time-displaced self.
But what happened in that interrogation room, that's off limits.
That's another grey area of legality. He's being detained and strip searched by holograms. What's going on there?
Some probing, I imagine.
Well,
I mean, probing questions.
why didn't he just say, okay, I'm out of this program. I'm not getting strip searched by a hologram?
Because Siri was broken and they couldn't command anything.
Then it's dangerous. They shouldn't have gone in there.
That's something I wanted to see. How were they exiting this program? How do you exit a program once you're in it if you can't say computer in program?
That's supposed to be a restricted mechanism. It's very suspicious that Vic Fontaine's program was able to turn that off. If that can happen, it's surely not safe.
That seems extremely dangerous. I like the plot device. They can't reset it. It gets wiped.
Yeah, it's all for plot reasons.
I don't... the specifics don't really work.
It would have been cool if they broke into the accounting room and just asked the computer for an exit and just shoved the safe into the exit so it vanished. And then got rid of the exit so the safe was just gone.
We know they were going in and out of the program, but we never see it. And then in the beginning, they establish how they can't get the computer to do anything. So I don't know how that works.
Brushed under the rug. If only they knew decades later people would be bickering about this sort of thing on the internet and repeatedly making a joke about people bickering about it on the internet.
It's not important enough to really lay out. They got away with it, I think. It's not a super serious episode anyway.
It's a goof episode, so it doesn't matter.
I'd rather they spend time on the things they did spend time on.
The heist stuff was all super exciting, and I'll be honest, if these people made a heist TV series, I'd probably watch it.
If we got episodes of this quality, sure.
Do you have some words from this episode that you'd like to share with us?
We are no longer bound by any limitations, except the ones we impose on ourselves.
Cassidy, wasn't it?
Yes, the rare Cassidy quote.
It's not true. There's loads of things they can't do. Well, she's not talking about space stuff, really, is she?
Yeah, I don't think that was the point of that one.
That's the benefit of living in a utopian paradise. Everyone's pretty happy and gets along.
She was talking about something specific, but it can be taken in a broader sense. Often we are our own worst enemies.
It's a lot easier to be negative than it is to be positive. So I don't blame people who get really negative about all sorts of things, but it doesn't help. So I do blame them.
It's all their fault, stupid idiots.
We'd all get along if the people who weren't getting along would just stop not getting along.
Then we would never stop, never not getting along.
That wouldn't be not the best.
So if you have two negative limitations for yourself, do they cancel out and become a positive?
Such as...
I don't know.
You can't walk or fly.
Therefore, you can teleport.
No. The answer to your question is no.
Oh, okay.
They just stack.
So math lied to me.
No, this is entirely mathematical. You keep taking things away, you get a big negative number. Cassidy's quote is suspiciously close to if you believe in yourself, you can do anything.
Pretty much.
But you can't. Loads
Pretty
of stuff
much.
you can't do. I tell you what we can do.
Go to the next episode.
Yeah, let's go to the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.